Welcome back to Morning Live, and thank you so much for staying with us. Now, the recent incident of school children dying in a horrific accident which claimed 18 lives has brought the education system under the spotlight. Access to education is still a grave concern, and the accident has opened a debate on the state of vehicles that transport school children. While the education system has allowed for more access to schooling, the quality of that education for many is still a hindrance to opportunities. We take this conversation further with the MEC of Education in Gauteng, MEC Lesufi. MEC, good morning. It's good to have you in our studios.
Good morning, Farisa. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so that's why it's a fellow good morning. It's not really a good one after this horrific accident. But how are things? You got to see the parents yesterday of the affected families. You got to see the children themselves. How are they keeping?
Yeah, yesterday was the third day interacting with families. To be frank with you, Parisa, it's difficult. It's tough for them. I mean, for one family to lose all three children simultaneously, it's a painful exercise. But also to a family to lose both a father and two children as well, it's a painful exercise. We've unleashed all the necessary support that is needed, both pastoral support but also professional support in terms of counseling, and also providing all the necessary support that they will need from society. And I have to thank that community there. You know, they came out in their large numbers. They provided all the relevant support we expect from a community in that kind of a situation. So far, so good, but it's a painful process.
It is, yeah. And we had the minister yesterday, Minister Motshekga, saying that we should give the investigators some time to look into this matter. But from what we have gathered, it looks like this was one pure human error that happened.
I've been at the scene. I've seen all those bodies, and I had serious interaction with law enforcement agencies that were there. I really want to leave it now to the police just to sum up the investigation, and they've been hard at work, to be quite frank. I mean, the accident happened on Friday. When we went there on Sunday afternoon, they were still at the scene trying to gather the relevant evidence. And I think when they finalize that part, we'll be in a position to move on. But from our planning point of view as a department, we are treating everyone as equal, including the driver and his family. So we've not isolated anyone. We believe that's the best way to handle the situation, and leave the law enforcement agencies to conclude their own investigation. They will pass judgment at the right moment. Yeah,
and the children, obviously, they were traveling on a daily basis between Mpumalanga and Gauteng province. That says a lot, MEC, about the challenges that still exist in the schooling system, especially when it comes to learner transport.
I share that view, strongly so. We need to ensure that equal education is accessible to everyone, or quality education is accessible to everyone equally, and that we can make resources available to whoever that need access to those resources, and that planning should take place more at intergovernmental level rather than only at a national level. Because if you go through the needs of these kids, there is policy to cover their needs, but that policy is restricted by boundaries. For example, in Gauteng, we can provide scholar transport to them only if they're within the boundaries of Gauteng. And Mpumalanga can provide scholar transport to them only if they're within the boundaries of Mpumalanga. But if there is a cross-border, it makes it difficult, and no one is covered. They legitimately qualify for scholar transport. They legitimately qualify for a proper transport that can be organized by government. But purely because of cross-border relations, we believe that we've learned something out of this thing, and we'll be in a position to do joint planning with our counterparts in Mpumalanga. And they've been very helpful. I must thank the MEC for safety, as well as the local mayors there. They've provided all the relevant support. Actually, we didn't even feel that we're in a cross-border situation. We felt we are one government that can assist all our learners.
Yeah, thanks for clarifying that issue of national learner transport policy, because a lot of people were saying that they are entitled to this learner transport. But the issue of quality education, MEC, and not just access to education, it also still a concern in South Africa.
Well, it's a sensitive matter. Is it whether South Africans are ready to open their doors so that access to quality education can be open to everyone. I must be honest, I'm always touched by how poor people open their doors for everyone that need access to education. You go to our township schools, you'll have many people that come from other parts of Africa. You have many people that come from rural areas that want quality education. You find that our people open up for that. But you go to those that are sometimes privileged, they close their doors immediately. And then they will cite costs, they will cite many other things. But to me, access to quality education means that you need to have quality educators, you need to have quality infrastructure, you need to have a quality system that can manage all these processes. But I think we're getting there. It's not easy, it's difficult, but I'm quite convinced that quality education will happen in our lifetime.
Yeah, and I would want to believe this incident is an eye-opener to the department as well. Now, the question is, what steps will you be taking to ensure that all the vehicles that transport learners to the different destinations, to the different schools, are safe? We've seen incidents of learners being transported at the back of the bakkies, for example.
Well, we've taken a joint action with the province. We've established a joint team. We are of the view now that this will be a case study for all the provinces that have similar problems. We want to bring the Limpopo government as well, because it's a troika type of a program of an area. You've got Groblersdal that is in Limpopo, you've got Bronkhorstspruit that is in Gauteng, and you've got Verena that is in Mpumalanga. So we need to do joint planning around that area so that we can deal with that situation. But it's a cross-border situation that you can find in any other part of Gauteng, of our country. So it's very, very important, therefore, that we find a solution that can assist everyone and can be everlasting.
And I would believe the parents must also come on board.
Definitely.
Because we're entrusting our children's lives with these taxi drivers and the drivers that take them to school.
Definitely, definitely.
MEC, we'll leave it at that, but thank you so much for coming through.
And thanks for your time. And I just want to take this opportunity to thank all South Africans, NGOs, religious formations, Mamwini Mandela, the president of the country. They just showered us with messages of support. And this is how we have to survive as South Africans. And I really feel the Ubuntu that has been demonstrated will go a long way to heal and give support to those families. And thanks for your time as well.
Thank you so much indeed. Gauteng Education MEC MEC Lesufi talking to us about a whole range of issues in relation to what happened where 18 students, or 18 scholars rather, lost their lives last week Friday during a crash. Well, let's